嗨，大家好，欢迎来到我的频道。今天我们就想聊一聊，为什么政府又开始同意使用强生疫苗。Okay, how do you think about the government wants people use 强生 vaccine again?
Well, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a perfectly good vaccine. There is a slight risk, approximately 1 in a million, of getting a severe and rare type of blood clot. But the risk of getting that same kind of blood clot is 600% higher with coronavirus infection than it is from the vaccine. So I have no problem with them restarting use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Okay. Why government use Johnson vaccine to the homeless?
Well, they're using it for lots and lots of people, but you're right that they are using it specifically for homeless people and anyone who would have trouble getting back for a second vaccine on time. So they're using Johnson & Johnson for people who do not have transportation to get back to a vaccine center. They're using Johnson & Johnson for people who live in places very far away from a city that would have trouble getting back for a second vaccine. And they are using Johnson & Johnson for homeless people because homeless people have a very difficult time keeping track of dates and appointments to get back for a second vaccine. So it's not that we're using Johnson & Johnson for homeless people because it's an inferior vaccine. We're using it because it's a superior vaccine for people who cannot easily return for a second on-time injection.
Oh, so you think it's still good, the Johnson vaccine? It's very useful?
Oh yes, it's a good vaccine. It's very useful because it does not have to be kept frozen at these special sub-zero temperatures. We can use it for things like riding around in a van to find homeless people. We can take it out into small communities far out from the city in order to give vaccines where the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines would go expired before we can even get the vaccine to the people who live out in these small towns.
So recently, some people said the vaccine is changed, become stronger. Or not vaccine, the virus, coronavirus, is change to be stronger. Some people very worry about that. If people take the vaccine and still worry about the coronavirus.
Well, yes, the vaccine is mutating. It is, there are strains of the vaccine that are more contagious, and there are strains of the vaccine that are probably becoming more deadly. Now, this is sort of the normal evolution of a virus. This is what happens with the flu virus and lots of other kinds of viruses. The development of the new strains only happens when the virus is alive inside living hosts, that is, humans. And so if enough people develop immunity, then there will be no humans left for the virus to live inside, and it's while it's living and replicating inside people that it can mutate into these other strains of the virus. So if there are not lots of people to infect, the virus cannot go on developing new strains. The very best way to keep the virus from mutating and developing these new strains that are more dangerous is to have everyone vaccinated. The best way to prevent a virus from mutating is to not give it a population of humans inside which it can live and reproduce and develop mutations. Now, the strains so far, the new strains that we see appear to be vulnerable to the vaccine. That is, the vaccine seems to be working against most all of the new strains that we see. But it's not going to be long before we have a strain of coronavirus that can that is not prevented by the vaccines. And the longer we go on having large populations of people that are not vaccinated, the sooner we will have a strain of the coronavirus that is not prevented by the vaccine.
Okay, so we still need to protect ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. And when you get vaccinated, you are protecting yourself. But just as important, you're protecting everyone else in your community. I think of it sort of like the health laws that require you to use an approved septic system or a public sewer system for the waste from your toilet. You are not allowed to simply dump your waste from your toilet into your backyard, because doing so would not only affect you, but it endangers your entire community. It endangers your neighbors, and if rainwater causes runoff from your waste into local areas, local ponds, or out to lakes, then you would be endangering the entire community. When you vaccinate, you protect your entire community. You protect yourself, you protect your loved ones, you protect the neighbors you don't know, you protect the old people at the mall that you encounter, you protect the people who are receiving cancer treatments, you protect the people who have immune disorders. And so just like we all accept that we have to use an approved septic system or an approved public sewer system to protect our community, we should all be accepting that a tiny little needle stick is part of how we protect everybody else in our society.
Okay, thank you so much. It's very important. We should know.
It is. It's important, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is not an inferior vaccine. It is a very good vaccine, and it has the huge advantage of needing only one injection, and it does not have to be kept in these special sub-zero freezers.
Okay, sure. Thank you.